What's going on, everybody? Welcome in 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. You can see I am joined by some absolute social media titans. One is paid, one is organic. I get to call them friends of mine, and it's probably one of the most outstanding parts of my life because, as anyone knows who's watched this show, I am not a huge fan of social media as it relates to showing pictures of my food and shit and sharing my vacation. But I do share outside, so I shouldn't, necessarily say that. But I don't use it the same way. So anyways, in case you don't know, we're joined first of all by the one and only Dave Lemmon. Dave, how are you, man?
I am really good, and I am shocked that we have not done this before. But
I know, a little nugget of interest for people. Dave Lemmon has never been on 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. He has been on the Carbis Chronicles multiple times, and has orchestrated plenty of people being on this show and on that series, but himself has never been on the show. So first time visitor. All right.
First time, long time, Sean. First time, long time.
Yeah, first time, long time, baby. Yeah. So everyone knows the next guest on the panel today, Jeff Hunter. Jeff, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. I don't know if this is my first time on 5 minutes. I know I've been on the Chronicles too, but I don't know.
Well, you've been on a live version of the Chronicles, as has Dave, which was our first run season, 2019, when I first met you, Jeff Hunter, in person down there in Milwaukee. And then, yes, you were on 5 minutes when we introduced and brought you into the company.
That's right.
We had our mystery guest show, which we've never done before, and we made it happen. So we had some fun with that, and that's almost coming up on a year already, which is wild to consider and think about for so many other things. So, all right, we're all here today to talk about social media. All right. So my idea is to get people discussing what it means to them when they hear it. Right. So as it relates to the car business, we'll start with Dave. Dave, when I say car business and social media, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
That almost everybody does it wrong on the paid side.
Okay. All right. So doing it wrong. So that's the first thing that hits you, strikes you. Is it because obviously it's your business to see, understand, and live the ad world, but is it because you see these ads being done wrong on your own personal space? Or is it because you see them from a business client perspective? Is it both? What triggers you in that way, Dave?
It's a good question. So it's interesting. Most of the ads that are served in paid social are served to the automotive inventory ad audience, which is Facebook identifies people that are hand raisers that they consider in market for a car. My entire life is spent looking at dealership Facebook pages, dealership websites with pixels on them, because that's how I spend my day. So I am considered perpetually in market for a car. And my Facebook feed is carousel ad after carousel ad after carousel ad. So I see it in the wild a lot. And then, I spend a lot of time talking to current clients and potential clients about what I see that they're doing that's right or wrong. And wrong heavily outweighs the right.
I get a sneaking suspicion that this is going to be a thread for our discussion, is the concept of doing it wrong. And here's where I come in from my perspective on the paid, being in the background, right? I'm not a marketer, and this is not my responsibility. I am a data nerd who gets to analyze and have an opinion. That's it. I am a blessed human being in that way. I'm not responsible to fix a damn thing that I find wrong with anything that I find. But here's my problem. I've got people, Dave, who go into the ad world and they spend thousands of dollars on one thing, right? A carousel ad, because maybe someone along the way got in their ear about frequency being important, which, look, we understand marketing. I'm not an asshole. So I know that frequency is what sells. Okay, fine. But to your example, your frequency's got to be a 12, dude. As a blended, user of the space, you're at like a 12 frequency. Yep. When you and I share clients who you'll routinely say to me in a report, hey, dude, frequency is low, but guess what? I'm running 17 different creatives. I got copy running for this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, great. And we all look at this top level number, right? It adds, and we're like, oh, $3,000 for a click through of this and of that. But what if it was all one ad that was driving all that data that was actually not beneficial to you?
Right.
So doing it wrong is so obvious in the data world. To me, we know when the ad looks like shit and doesn't perform. So I guess then it's easy to understand or assume, Jeff Hunter, that you see it being done wrong as well on organic sites, or is it more for you the same problem Jeff has? Like, what? Let's ask you the question, Dave, or we asked Dave, which is, what does social media in the car business mean to you first, Jeff Hunter?
Not being social on social is the one problem. I'm just gonna really piggyback off of what Dave was saying, because that's exactly it. It's a matter of trying to correct the wrongness. So I don't think there's many dealers out there right now that don't understand that, they need to do it, right? But needing and knowing that you need to do it and how to do it are two entirely different things. And that's the problem that I think we're facing. So first and foremost, most dealers aren't social on social, which is one of the errors of the ways. All the things David talked about. And then also, it's just, to me, social is the organic part of social, which is what I promote. It's a way to capitalize on, free marketing and a free way to actually speak to your customers. Like, how over the years, how many times and how many ways you try and get a communication with a customer when you now have social media, kind of a ice-breaking kind of freer, a little more laid back way to communicate with customers who might have a question, who want to comment on a picture you put up. And I think the common mistake that dealers make, and I'm going to end this here, is the fact that they are trying to sell the product more than they're trying to sell themselves and the dealership itself. And that's where I think it gets lost in social. It's not an advertising space on their profiles. Dave has that covered on another part of Facebook and so on. But on the actual profiles themselves, there's a huge mistake where it's all about trying to sell the product. And what you're trying to do on social is you're selling yourself, the salespeople of the dealership.
Because Dave Lemmon, this is a situation where he refers to the page itself, right? So where the organic is, these guys, basically, they're not running ads necessarily with you. It's just they're putting up the $3.99 lease. Like, that's all they're posting about. So it's like, and then they're going to you and you're running ads in the ether of Facebook, IG, but then themselves are like, yeah, we should double down and run that same ad, down our feed. And I to me, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave Lemmon, you probably know better, Jeff Hunter, chime in, but isn't it fairly automatically localized, Dave Lemmon? Facebook, Instagram, like, isn't it something that as you post in your community, that's what you're being given, that's who you're being shown to? It's not like if I post, it's going to make it to California unless it goes viral or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's really on both sides, right? I mean, your ads are usually going to run in a pretty tight geo. Your organic posts are going to be shown to your followers. If you boost it, maybe you're picking friends of your followers, which is going to keep you pretty tight. And you can do a geo around the boosted post as well. I think it's some of what Jeff's talking about too. Social media is about making a social connection. It's about community. It's paid and organic. And the number of CDJR dealers that think that not only a great ad, but a great organic post on their page is a Jeep Wrangler driving over a snowy mountainside. Okay, I mean, that looks cool, but that's great for selling Jeep. But Jeep is running that already. Jeep is doing that. That doesn't talk to anybody in your community about what makes you socially engaged with them at a local level. And, the difference between doing that kind of content on your page and doing super simple stuff like happy delivery pics and tagging people and, personal walkarounds and the pet adoption event. By the way, everybody listening to this, call the Humane Society, do a pet adoption event. It will change your social media position.
People. I'm trying to tell you something right now. All right. So this is going to be on Dave's back. So my friends run Valley Subaru in Longmont, Colorado. Okay. Go to their Facebook page, go to their IG. What they are doing was cultivated in 2005 by myself and the owner's daughter. It is a relationship with the local Humane Society. They give these dogs names. They put their dogs like in loaners and shit with names. It is incredible, people. Okay. Like, it is the most socialized way you can be. So everyone has them, Dave. I love you for saying it. You touched on something though that is it's starting to get to the root of this whole issue for me. And I know I got to be careful how much I talk about them on these shows, but the OEM does not help any of us with social media.
No.
They don't help from how they try and control on the ad side. And Jeff Hunter, could you just speak generally about the one text you sent me one day that was 19 people in your feed and what was in that post that day?
Yeah. So right before I talk about that, I just want to, before we get off of what Dave was talking about very, very, very quickly, is exactly what Dave was saying. And this is going to link into what we're talking about, these tier 1 posts, which we're going to talk about here in a second, is the fact that let's use a Chevy Silverado, for example. Every dealer in the United States can sell that exact same Chevy Silverado, right? And has the same, can take the same picture of that Chevy Silverado.
Yes.
But not every dealer has that same salesperson or has that same community and that's the only way that you can differentiate yourself on social media is by again, going back to what I was talking about, selling yourself, selling the dealership, not the product, right? So, and talking about the product, it's obviously good. It's great. You want to share professional photos sometimes, whatever, but there are dealers whose whole social media page is literally what we call a tier 1 post. And for many of you watching who probably don't understand what a tier 1 post is, it's simply, a post that's a picture, very professional, that's coming straight from the manufacturer. The issue with that, however, is when that comes out, so a new model will come out, for example, and I've seen this recently with a few different models, and I showed Sean a text of a particular model, which I'm not going to talk about, but it doesn't matter. And I went down my feed because I follow a lot of dealerships. And there was, it was like 18 or 19 of the exact same picture with the exact same text at the exact same time of day on the exact day, because this vehicle, came out. And it's not even just that. They'll do that for just a random vehicle on a random day. It doesn't have to be like a vehicle release day, which I understand is a little bit different. So how does that differentiate you in any way, shape, or form from any other dealer? Because every post looks the same. The only way I could even determine who it was is by looking at the name up top. And secondly, it doesn't provide any value. Nobody clicks on those. Nobody likes that. There's no reason for engagement on it. It's a picture. Okay, boom, scrolling by, and it looks like a manufacturer post. So if you see it in a feed, you probably think it's from Toyota or Ford or whomever it may be. It's not saying this is Valley whoever, or it's not Horn Kia, or it's not one of these dealers. You're not separating yourself, which is the whole idea, the ability you have on social media.
Yeah, and I guess that's really what plays into it for me, I think heavily, is the fact that we have an opportunity to be engaging, right? And Jeff, now that you're on the data side, right? Now that you dive more into that on individual posts and seeing what dealers do, isn't it crazy to see the difference of a tier 1 versus something, original, right? It's just not a feeling anymore. It's not a theory. It's a reality of what the post does and does not do for your standing. So with that in mind, Dave Lemmon, you tell me. I've always stated it like that. This idea is that social media on the paid side is like a steroid, right? For like you're working out, you're doing the right thing on organic, and then social media on paid can just take you off. But isn't it true in your world that if someone's really bad at paid, there's only so much you're going to be able to do and reach? Is that fair to say? I mean, without them spending, an ungodly amount of money. But how does the tie together come into your world? Where do you see those two coming in and working together?
Yep. So it's a good question. So the organic side is not going to drive our reach at all. But if somebody has good organic content, we repurpose that into the paid world, and it's the strongest paid ads they'll have. So the way I look at that reach thing and the audience thing, it's the easiest way to think about it is this. On Jeff's side, on the organic side, these are people that have chosen to engage with you. So they are probably your customers, your employees, your friends and family, things like that. So that organic side is already people that know a little bit about you and trust you. Connect with them. On the paid side, what's cool is you expand it so much, because now you can go after everybody that owns your brand, lives in your DMA, but has never spent a penny at your store. So you're a Ford store. I've got every Ford owner in a 10-mile radius who's never darkened your door. What do you want to tell them? If it's a carousel, you didn't tell them much. But if it's something from that organic side, if it's that pet adoption event, Well, now they're sitting up and taking notice, and they're paying attention to who you are, your place in the community, why they might want to visit you, the meaningful stuff that makes a connection. And even though it's a paid ad, people respond to it more like an organic post. It doesn't feel like a paid ad. It's the difference between running fairly simple video and super overproduced, polished video on social. The TV
Yeah, I think that's the other
spot's
thing people
cool.
got to relax about, right? Is like, hey guys,
Yeah.
everyone sort of expects it to be B-roll to some extent. Everyone knows what A-roll looks like. For me, I think it's something that, you know, we enjoy doing it, right? My wife and I I used to always worry about, oh my God, is it too loud outside? Is it this? And then finally I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It turns out I don't actually care, because if you don't like it, mute it and move on. It's going to be like a minute and a half. So like, you should just do it because it was what makes you happy. However, from a personal business perspective, Jeff Hunter will also say that you could just walk around it, you know, and you could just add text, right? Jeff Hunter, this isn't about, we hear this all the time, right? Well, I don't want to be in front of camera. I can't do that. And Jeff Hunter always says, well, then fine, don't. Then just use your knowledge from behind the camera and explain to people what it is they're seeing. Jeff, how many times do you run into people who kind of, lack of a better term, make excuses for not wanting to put themselves out there?
Always.
Oh,
Always. Man, there's salespeople. I was a salesperson. There's always an excuse. We're smart people. We always have a reason to get out of doing anything more than what we need to do, especially when it comes to if we're not being incentivized for it, right? So, but the problem is you are being incentivized if you understand how to do it correctly, because it just comes back to you down the road for the work that you put in for yourself and the dealership. But yeah, no, it's impossible. You know what? Listen, hey, I even started off not wanting to be in front of the camera until I realized, hey, wait a second. That person's going to come and see my face anyway. So, and I want them to recognize who I am. So why would I not go in front of the camera? I can't hide myself when they come here. So
look, first 50 episodes of this show, I didn't have a camera, all right, for a reason, because I just wanted to hang out in my basement, record episodes whenever I felt like it. All right. So, but then someone was like, hey, you should be on camera. And here we are. This is going to be like 280, I think, sitting here with you guys today. So yeah, it's evolution, people. It happens. Get used to it. But Jeff Hunter said something very important, being incentivized. Yes, you're right. From a salesman perspective, how many times do I have to sound like I'm older than I am? If I had BDCs, CRMs, and social media, I would never have left sales, and I'd probably be the best salesman in the world. Okay. Because I would just utilize everything I know now on those. But that's not how it works. So you have to be able to go out and dealerships, don't be afraid. And Dave Lemmon, this is nothing at you, but it's in ad space normally. Most of you are overspending, all right? Whether it's on social or it's on Google, I don't give a shit. The majority of you are overspending. So do me a favor. Take out, just blindly, take out $1,000 out of the budget. Anywhere. I don't care where you can find it anywhere. All right. If you can't call me, I'll help you find it. $1,000. All right. Take the $1,000, incentivize 1 to 2 salespeople that you identify as good at being out front. You all know it. All right. If you're selling cars, there's no way you've got a stock floor of people who just take orders. Even in today's world, post-COVID, of order takers that exist, there still is real energy. So take $1,000, incentivize 2 people to be organically posting and talking about your dealership. But Jeff Hunter, Dave Lemmon both know this. It's not just about posting. Dave Lemmon said it. Make a connection. Get in there. So when you go on that and you have the Humane Society event and people are commenting about your fucking event, do you, me, and yourself a favor and reply to these people. Okay? Get into it with them. And then tomorrow, go ask the Humane Society to share that link on their page. And when they do, because they will. When they do, go say something on that fucking page. Go be engaging. All right? Anyone who knows me has heard this line a million times. Post 3 times a week, comment 3,000. Okay? That's how I built an entire audience. Jeff Hunter, he posts probably, I don't know, how many times a week, Jeff Hunter?
how many days a week are there?
Yeah,
probably
okay,
like,
there are 7.
Probably
how many times a
15,
day?
20. Yeah, depending on which profile, but yeah,
Right?
no, I couldn't even count. Like on
Okay,
one profile
so-
alone, it'd be 15 to 20 a week. Yeah.
All right. And this dude has a brand that is millions deep. I have a brand that is thousands deep. We have a difference of approach. He gets the game. I don't care about it. So I don't care. I use social media for me. I don't let it use me. And that's the difference for some people. But anyways, let's close this up because I don't want to give too much away, and we'll get to why I don't want to do that in a second. But Dave Lemmon, one piece of advice you have for dealers right now that could make them better at paid media.
I'm going to give the easiest single takeaway that I've given in the last couple of sessions I've done at the Kane event and Digital Dealer and a few others. It is walk into your GM or your dealer principal's office with your phone and ask them to say thank you to your recent customers. Have them just say, hey, I'm Dave Lemmon with Dealer OMG. I just wanted to say thank you for joining the family. There's so many dealerships you could have chosen. Thank you for choosing us. If your friends, your family are in need of a vehicle, we're here to help. If you have any concerns or questions, just reach out and let us know. And then upload your last 90 days of sales into Facebook and spend about $40 to send every single person that video into their feed. It's $40. That's literally all it's going to cost. And no one does it. You're going to stand out. You're going to immediately impact your repeat and referral business, and you're going to impact retention and how people feel about you. Hell, you might even impact some of those scores that are so important to your manufacturers. So do it.
It's huge. Jeff Hunter, write that down for us and our joint venture with one of our clients. Our owner, not even our GM would probably do it, but our owner in this case, he would do it. And he is the area, right? Like he's in New York, he's a New Yorker. And I mean, it would be awesome. So we're writing that one down. We can have something to learn here. Dave Lemmon, thank you for that. Jeff Hunter, one thing today that could make dealers better at organic social.
Oh, I have like a list, Sean. You know me. Like
I know you do. And I want to get to your list, but because of the next announcement here, Jeff Hunter, I cannot have you give away the list.
So here's what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is that before you start anything, before I worry about giving any sort of tips out there, first of all, you need to create more organic content. And how do you do that? You don't just go out into the sales floor as a manager or owner and tell your sales staff, here's what you have to do, go do videos. Because you know what? It's not going to work. The reason why is because they don't know how. And salespeople like myself are very proud people, and we don't want to look like fools. So until you have somebody or something in place where you can teach them how to properly do it, how to read your analytics and how to, do all that kind of stuff. That's where you have to lead off on somewhere. If you're gonna lead off somewhere, it's getting the proper training in order to do it properly. So you're setting up on the right foot right from the start. And then you can dive into all the little nuances that make it better.
Wow. You think we would what a lead in, you know what I mean? Like if we were playing volleyball right now, that is just, Jeff Hunter just puts it up for me to spike it down. So here it comes, people. This little thing you see right here, this is about to turn into a one-day badass event in Austin, Texas, September the 20th. Mark your calendars down now. Website will be out soon. Tickets are available. If you call the three of us, email the three of us. If you're a dealership, sorry, my vendor friends, we love you to death. We are looking for sponsors. You want to email any of us about that as well? We're fine to talk to you about it, but this is a dealer-only event. It is one day of hardcore, in-your-face, all things social media. So if you have a GM, you have an owner, you have someone, a salesperson you want to add in, commit to, we're going to be having it at a beautiful hotel, right, Dave Lemmon? I know this. Dave Lemmon loves this hotel.
Gorgeous. Yeah, the hotel is absolutely beautiful.
We're going to be having a time afterwards, the show, having cocktails, and I believe we're doing cigars. We got all kinds of shit happening. We're going to be doing a good time. So come join us, because the Being Social event, which is what it is, that is what it's called, Being Social. It's called that for a reason. These two just gave you 2 ways to be ready to go to make a difference in your dealership today. That is, get training and use a simple list with a simple Dave Lemmon 30-second video. Is that fair enough?
That's it.
Right? 30-second spot from the owner or GM thanking his customers. What a great thing. Those 2 little tips, you're going to have an entire day full of this. We're going to have people from TikTok. I think it was confirmed, Mr. Lemmon.
Correct. Ryan Capaccio, who was the head of Automotive for TikTok.
TikTok will be in the building. Some meta folks, or at least previous meta folks who know more than all of us know about some of the intricacies of the whole business. They'll be there. Myself, Jeff Hunter will be in attendance in Austin. Dave Lemmon, Andrew Street. We've got the list coming. I think Keith is going to be joining us as well. Is that right?
He's going to be joining us. I guess there's somebody named Kelsey Skeen from Ad
Right.
Taxi.
We've got Ad Taxi joining us, and let me tell you something. Kelsey's not here on this call, but the tech that she's going to drop you all at this event, what these two are talking about, it like takes that and just boom. I mean, it blows it up. It blows it up. So yeah, it's gonna be a killer event. So please make your reservations to be there with us. We're only going to have, and I say this once so everyone knows, so I don't hear anyone bitching about it later, 25 seats. That's it. 25 seats for less than some people's cell phone bills. Okay. All right. So when it all comes out, goes live, you can be a part of it. If you want to be a part of it beforehand, reach out to all of us. We would be happy to get any information you need and get you set up to be a part of it. Jeff Hunter, anything you want to add to folks who are potentially thinking about joining us at Being Social?
I'm excited to be there. It's one thing to try and share it on video and 1 minute or 2 minutes at a time. It's another thing where you can have a conversation. I think that's the biggest thing about an event like this, is the fact you can have that back and forth. So as opposed to just me talking to you and you might not understand certain things I'm saying, you can stop me, ask a question, and we're going to dig into it even further. So I'm really excited. I have a lot of information, a lot of things I've learned along the way that have made my social media presence successful. So I've tried all the things, the trials and tribulations, and what I want to do from a sales floor to just being a content creator. What I want to do is I want to share that with everybody out there, because I have a passion for that. That's why I left the sales floor in the first place, is because I literally want to help people. I want to help dealerships. I want to help salespeople out there. So I'm excited to do that.
And to that point, this event is strictly about social media. All right. You are not going to hear the word Google. We are not going to talk about fucking AI in advertising. No one gives a shit about that. This event is going to be about people. It's going to be about strategy, and it's not going to be a speaking heads event. Okay. We're going to demand engagement. So if you want to be one of the lucky 25 people who's there, don't come sitting on your hands. I won't let it happen. I'm going to MC this thing. I don't know anything about social media. That's why I know these people. But I know how to talk, get people excited. That's what we're going to be doing. And the other thing that I want to talk about on that front is we're working on something pretty cool for Jeff Hunter to have, potentially a little interactive piece going on here. So again, all the details will be coming your way sooner than later. Dave Lemmon, why should people come to Being Social?
I mean, I'll tell you what inspired this was what you and I and Jeff and April Simmons and everybody else that was on that amazing group did at Digital Dealer in Tampa. And I don't think I've never been to anything like that before. And if you were there, you got it. And if you weren't, basically what happened is you went into a session where nobody had a prepared thing to tell you as a dealer. You got to tell us what you wanted to hear and what you needed. And you had a range of people who were experts to be able to walk up to them and say, I don't need to see your deck. Just this is what I'm trying to get information about. If you have that information, tell me. And I think everybody walked away with a lot of true takeaway, useful information that they wanted. And this is that vibe. This is what we wanted to, take that concept, expand on it, recreate it to an extent, and make this about the dealers driving the content and what's going to happen there.
And it's all about being specialized, right? I know you and I both love that term. And when you look at being specialized in the social media world, we can do it. And yeah, to be fair, this whole show came out of me standing back and watching these two at a table have the biggest table in the room, overflowing with people, questions, answers, the two of them. That's what inspired this for me. And so I remember texting my business partner, texting Dave Lemmon, being like, I just witnessed the future of how I want to see a show happen. And so we've never put our weight behind a show. We've never done anything like that before. I've complained about them a lot. So I am going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to bring you one badass day of some of the best and brightest minds in social media, period. So make sure to join us. Dave Lemmon, thank you very much. Jeff Hunter, always appreciated. Folks, join me next week. It's going to be, I can't believe I'm doing this 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to be doing another panel discussion with April Simmons and Tom Klein about, some FCC shit that's gotten real. So be sure to join us. We're having fun with panels. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks a lot.